Hello and welcome to my channel. The last step before weaving the paper basket is moisturizing and curing the paper rods. All the paper rods have to be divided into two groups. The first group is called the stakes. They will be used for making a structure or skeleton of a basket. Don't moisturize them before weaving and keep them dry. The second group is called the weavers. I will show you how to get them ready for weaving. Before you start moisturizing the paper rods, you need to prepare a piece of plastic to wrap them up. I use a piece of plastic bag from the cat food, but it can be any other type of plastic. Measure your paper rods. My paper rods are 28 centimeters long. It is of the utmost importance to make sure that 1 centimeter at the butt of the paper rod and 3 or even 3.5 centimeters at the tip of the paper rod are absolutely dry. If you don't follow this rule, you will not be able to connect the weavers. So let's calculate the size of the plastic you need for wrapping up the paper rods. The length of the plastic can be anywhere around 30 or 40 centimeters. The width depends on your own paper rods. In my case, the paper rods are 28 centimeters long, thus 28 centimeters minus 1 centimeter at the butt minus 3 centimeters at the tip equals to 24 centimeters. Therefore, the size of the plastic shall be 24 centimeters by 30 centimeters. Now let me show you how to moisturize the paper rods. Prepare a glass or plastic container or jar with lukewarm water. The recommended height of the jar is approximately 2/3 of the length of the paper rods. My paper rods are 28 centimeters long, which means the jar needs to be about 20 centimeters in height. Immerse the paper rods into water and keep them immersed for several seconds. Flip the paper rods and immerse them into water for a few more seconds. The water will fill the hollow inside the paper rods by pushing the air out. You will see the air bubbles forming on top of the paper rods. Take the paper rods out of water and let them air dry for a few minutes. Wrap them up in plastic, making sure 1 centimeter at the butts and 3 centimeters at the tips of the paper rods are not wrapped up. They need to be exposed so that they could air dry fully. I call this process curing the paper rods. It's very hard to say for how long you need to keep them in plastic because it depends on several factors such as the temperature, humidity, type of the coloring agent and varnish you used for treating the paper rods, the diameter of the paper rods and so on. It may take anywhere between a couple of hours to a couple of days. As in case with treating the paper rods with a mixture of varnish and water, you can speed up the process of curing by using a hairdryer on a low or cool air setting. I will show you how the perfect weaver looks like. Check your moisturized paper rods wrapped up in plastic occasionally to see if they have already become dry enough at the butts and tips. The fully dry butt looks like that. If you press it against the fingertip, the butt will retain its shape. If the butt is still wet, it will get deformed if you touch it. The same rule applies to the tip of the paper rods. At the same time, all the rest of the paper rods shall be a little bit damp on the outside and very moist inside. It shall be pliable, but not soggy. The ready weavers should be flexible like that and shouldn't crack if you bend them. That's all you need to know about preparing the paper rods for weaving. Thank you for watching.